An uncomfortable question. Is it time for Ukraine to negotiate with Russia for an end to the war? Until recently, such a question would have been insulting to most Ukrainians. And on this very show, when I suggested that such an outcome might be inevitable to Polish Foreign Minister Radic Sikorski, a strong Ukraine backer himself, he compared me to British Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain, who infamously tried to appease Hitler in Munich back in 1938.
There is never a shortage of pocket Chamberlains willing to
I understand what you're saying.
to give up other people's land or freedom
I'm not in a position,
for their own peace of mind.
Polish foreign minister is entitled to his own opinions, but not his own facts. And the fact is that time and an unlimited tolerance for body count is on Putin's side. Russia doesn't broadcast how many of its soldiers have been killed, but outside estimates range from between 100 and 150,000 Russian dead so far. On the Ukrainian side, President Zelensky has confirmed around 30,000 troops have died, and vastly more civilians, though the actual number is likely much higher. This summer saw some of the most intense fighting since the war began. Ukraine has stepped up its drone and missile attacks on Crimean and Russian targets. Russia has stepped up its attacks on Ukrainian cities and energy infrastructure, making the coming Ukrainian winter an increasingly desperate one for Kyiv. Roughly 2.5 years into Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, it now controls nearly 20% of Ukrainian territory, including Crimea, which it annexed back 10 years ago. Meanwhile, morale in Ukraine is slipping. A Kyiv-based poll from July found a third of Ukrainians would accept some territorial concessions to Russia in return for a quick end to the war. That's a threefold increase from only a year ago, though most Ukrainians still oppose giving up any land, according to the survey. There seems to be a gradual realization among Ukrainians that, however unjust, Russia is going to end up occupying at least some of their territory. That's in part from exhaustion and uneasiness with mobilizing additional men and extending the deployment of those already in the field. It's also in part from concern that international support of Ukraine will diminish, because while European support for Ukraine remains strong in most circles, the same may not be true for the United States much longer. Candidate Donald Trump and his running mate J.D. Vance have been critical of continuing to send U.S. aid to Ukraine. And while a President Kamala Harris would undoubtedly be preferable to Kyiv's interests than Trump, there's no guarantee that Congress would approve another $60 billion or more in support. So where does that leave the Ukrainian people? Nowhere good.